What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of The Real and the Rare. I'm your host, as always, Steven Rychel. And the person sitting next to me is the one and only, that's Taylor Dagner, right?
Yes, Taylor Dagner.
So we're on here with the queen down south right now, Miss Taylor Dagner. Recently signed with BKFC, last summer. So a lot of stuff that I want to talk with her today and kind of go over. So join us on this little adventure we're gonna go on. Anyone who hasn't had a chance to, hit that QR code up top. Make sure you're giving us a like and subscribe on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. Other than that, Taylor, how are we doing this fine morning?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
Always running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah.
So obviously, let's start this one off. You over the summer you got signed with BKFC. Are you staying in that flyweight division? Are you gonna is that you decide where you're gonna be your home at?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure flyweight's my home. I couldn't make 115. I
wouldn't say go down. You never know. You may want to go up.
I mean, maybe. Let's see if I'm successful. Maybe I whoop them all at 25 and I go up. We'll see. You never know.
Hey, listen. I it's one of the things I talk about when I talk about a lot of the athletes is rapid extreme weight cutting is probably one of the more dangerous things that we have in the sport. People just don't want to talk about. It's just I guess it's just the nature of combat sports. What you're not tough, you can't get the weight off. I say it like this: if you know you can make the weight safely, go do what you got to do. You most athletes know their bodies better than most. So 125's your home, then 125's your home. You never know, but like as you get older, a lot of times your body changes, things happen.
I was concerned after having my daughter if I would make 25 again, but I've been studying nutrition. I'm actually in the process of becoming a nutritionist, and that's helped so much. It made the first weight cut after having my daughter was actually one of the easiest weight cuts of my life because I found the healthiest way to do it, I should say. So yeah.
That's the most important thing. Like we see, I interviewed this guy. It was like when World Series of Fighting was still around. One of their champions at the time, he was bragging about how he cut like 25 pounds in less than 24 hours. I'm like, you're insane, brother. What are you doing?
To your liver, dumbass.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it. But again, it's like what we were just talking about. Like it's the kind of persona of combat sports. We're tough. We have to do it this way.
Yeah.
Listen, let's do it let's do it the right way. Let's do it the safe way. Let's not damage our brain, damage our liver, etc. Just to make weight. Another thing that's like kind of the obvious thing. The first thing you athletes have to battle is the scales. It's the first thing. First contracted thing to do is make the weight, right? So I guess that's another plus that you're getting into the nutrition part of things and dietitian and stuff like that to get a handle of that, but also giving yourself another career to go after. If and when the combat your active fighter career comes to an end, you could help some of these athletes properly make weight.
That's funny you say that. That's literally my goal with like my plan B, you should say, because I know fighting isn't something that you can make a living off of, but I can use the platform through Bare Knuckle to get clientele and work with fighters, and it definitely would be a unique stick to be a fighter and a nutritionist. So I've seen both sides of things, and I feel like that'll work well for me.
Gonna be the Mike Dolce of BKFC.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Listen, it's an important part. It doesn't get talked about enough when we talk about combat sports. It's making the weight. It's very underestimated. It's very underrated, and it's one of the things that I think a lot of people should talk more about. So
for sure.
Now while you were also had in your sabbatical, you also recently signed with Storm Athlete Management.
Yeah.
What made you go link up with them and decide that this is the management company I want to go with? I want to have represent me moving forward in combat sports.
Funny you asked that, because the beginning of last year I was like dead set against having management because of, it sounds kind of selfish or greedy or whatever, but because you do have to share your purse and stuff with them. But I'm learning that it's like a business, and these managers are going to give me opportunities that I wouldn't have found by myself. And so if I get a check for a sponsor and they take a little bit off the top, that's still money I wouldn't have had in my pocket. So if you look at it more like a business standpoint, that was what made me want to get a manager. Now, as far as it being Storm Athlete Management, I actually had spoken with Michael Gaunt. He's the Other Side podcast guy. And
me and him, no. Me and him don't get along. Not at all.
Won't talk about him. But
it's all right.
No, but he did give me. I can't say anything negative.
Listen, we all have our place in this realm. Some of us get along great. Some of us don't. Yeah. Just like the fighters.
Because y'all don't get along doesn't mean y'all aren't good people. So yeah, he helped me out with giving me insight on like what other fighters had said about different management companies, and then Harvey Singh. He's my main guy right now. He found me on Facebook.
Gotta pull up Harvey
go Harvey. Right there. That's
show some love to Harvey. Appreciate you.
But we got in contact, and he's been a great help, and I just really liked his energy and stuff like that. And so between him and Kevin Smith, we did a Zoom call. I fit in real well with their like family dynamic. I like their energy, how they rally behind their fighters. I really just love that sense of community. So it was a no-brainer after that.
Listen, like there's, just same thing. Like when you have all these sponsors, the same thing with management companies. There's so many of them, so you have to be, you have to do your research when it comes to it. Not just seeing who they represent, but also see who they used to represent. What's their business relationship like with this promotion, that promotion, etc.
I mean, Mike Richmond's with Storm, Josh Dyer, and then I'm trying to think of a couple. Crystal Van Wick. She's with Storm. Yeah, they've got a lot of great.
I've interviewed her a handful of times over the last few years. She's an awesome person.
Yeah, she's so sweet, and she's been supportive of me. Even before I signed with Bare Knuckles, she was one of those girls that a girl's girl, as they say. When I would show her support, she'd show it back, and I really appreciate that.
She does that with me too. Like I won't see a post from her for a handful of days. Next thing I know, I see something, I share something, and I'll go in my notifications. Like an hour later, I see like, share. I'm like,
there's my Crystal. Yeah,
pretty much. She's probably one of the more down to earth athletes I've came across. Past 10 years or so. So definitely got to give some love to Crystal right there. So. Now, one of the things is, when I was going over everything, you took when you did have your pregnancy, you took a 2-year sabbatical.
Yeah.
Now we've also seen in the news over the past few weeks is when Ronda Rousey's trying to make a comeback, right? Obviously, this is where she's sitting at right now. Everyone's been watching the video. She's been doing interviews and stuff like that. If you had anything to tell her that I mean, obviously she has all these people around her, but what would you tell her one of the things that she probably should look out for work on to get back into that routine that she was? I mean, she for a period of time was the biggest female combat sport athlete in the world.
Well, honestly, she's on the physical and training side. I couldn't give her much advice because she's, this level with it already. But I would say
more like the balance between, motherhood and fighthood, so to speak.
Well, remember your why. In essence, like always think about your children when you're doing these things and stuff like that. They're kind of she's my driving factor, my daughter. And then I've noticed a lot with her that a big reason she stepped away was not even necessarily her children, but the hate she'd received from like what are they called? Casuals, casual MMA fans and stuff.
That
So
goes
I would advise her to invest in a mindset coach so she can find her love and her why again, and really just compete from her heart and for herself at the end of the day.
And that goes into like one of the other points I wanted to talk about as we were going through this. We kind of got to it a little bit quicker, but they asked Holly Holm about this.
Yeah.
And basically, if she wants to come back, and fight, she believes people would cheer for her. I feel like she's always felt like everybody has this hate against her, but she took herself away from that. I agree with her to a point. I think Ronda, for whatever reason, can't shy away from the trolls, from the people who know nothing.
Yeah, you gotta get thick skin.
Know nothing but have everything to say. They attack you in every way, shape, or form. I think she's paid more attention to those people than the people who were always supporting her, the people that always wanted to see her fight, win, lose, or draw. Obviously, her last 2 times competing wasn't the greatest performances, but she was also at her peak where like she didn't have anything else to prove. She was,
I think it was 100% mental, 100%, because like you said, it's easier said than done whenever you're at the top of your game and you get knocked down that hard. And then on top of that, have all the people that supported you just, adding lemon juice in the wound. It was not good. So, But
I think people tend to forget, like you said, a mental coach. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if people remember, like when they were doing all the countdown shows and stuff like that. Do you remember what happened when she lost the judo nationals before she medaled in judo? She disappeared for 3 years. She ran away from home. She didn't want to deal with any of that. I guess she has this sense like if I'm not the best, if I'm not winning, I'm nobody type of mindset. And she just shut herself off from the world. Yeah. Sounds familiar, don't it? Sounds like just like what she did, what happened when she lost her 2 fights in the UFC.
That's definitely a pattern, yeah.
But I think there's a point when she went on the Bert Kreischer podcast, she hit on a point I think is kind of right. Like the WWE fans has this fierce, intense loyalty to the stars that they love, right? Mm-hmm. But the way the MMA fan works, it's like it's either you're top of the mountain or you're garbage.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I agree with that assessment of her. Like I think a lot of fans do kind of feel that way. Like if you're on the top of the world, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if you're not the top of the mountain, you're garbage. You're phony. You're this. You're that. They find any other adjective you could throw in there to try to tear her down. And I think she fed into that a little bit too much. She should have just, like you said, try to find her why, find that mental coach and stuff like that.
I think that would be pivotal for her. She's athletically, I mean, she was an Olympic champion.
Papa's in the chat room.
Oh, hey, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Love you.
Now, let's get back to you on a sense of things, because as you said, your children are your why. So, why is it something that like you're injecting them into your combat sports life, your daily training regimen?
Man,
is that visual reminder of like, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, but that right there is the reason why I'm making this sacrifice.
150%, man. If I can, it's hard not to get emotional thinking about it, but if I can put myself in these positions to challenge myself, to be afraid and still push forward, I think that will teach her one of the best lessons that you can teach her in life. I think that it will extremely be beneficial, and not even financially, which, like I said, my nutrition stuff is going to be my goal with my career, but like mentally for her to see her mom and her dad even do that,
It's something I did, when I was with my last ex. She had a daughter who just wasn't really self-confident in herself, but she was a very tall and big girl. So I'm like, listen, you get a halfway sense of confidence about yourself and you start getting in your training and stuff like that. Yeah. So I would take her I threw her, and I was the overbearing dad to a point, but like it was something that she needed because she didn't have any self-confidence in herself.
Mm-hmm.
But the surprising part with that was my daughter was also coming with it, and she was the little spitfire in all of it. You know, she may have didn't have the skill set that or size that her sister did, but like she was always there, always willing to learn stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, anytime like I was lucky enough to cover events and stuff like that, she'd beg like, "Oh, can you ask them if I can come with you, Dad? Please."
Mm-hmm.
Like so. She was around all that, and 5 years ago or so, like it was something that kind of faded away from her. But like she would tell me stuff like, I had to deal with these girls. They were trying to bully my friend, and she's just the one, like she's right there in her face, like what you said.
Yeah, that no, 100%.
She's the protector of the group.
You hit it's funny you say that. Was it your stepdaughter was like a little bit taller and stuff like that, or was it
yeah, like she had her dad's side of the genes, like her, her dad was like 6'6", so like she had her dad's side of the genes.
I have always hated my super long arms, hated how long my legs were, how tall I was. And then I found MMA, and everyone was like, you're so long. You've got so much reach. This is perfect for you. So literally the one thing I hated about myself the most when I found MMA, it became a strength. And now it's something that like I'm proud to be tall as fuck. Like, like what?
But now think of it this way. I mean, I think I've seen some posts when I was going through some of your stuff on your socials, but like how many flyweights are that tall?
Exactly. None in bare knuckle. I'm the tallest.
So it's like if you keep them at the end of your punches, then they're not at the cake coming and cause.
Everyone likes to say, if you know how to use a reach doesn't matter unless you know how to use it. Well, I know how to use it, and as long as I train that and I'm in my flow state, it's going to be a good time for me and a bad time for anyone across from me.
Listen, if you know how to use your reach and you have good footwork, it's a big problem for people. Yep. It's a big problem for people.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about BKFC, it's not a big ring.
No.
So there's
they can't hide.
There's nowhere to run and hide.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for sure.
Now obviously we're talking about that flyweight division, and there's a handful of great ladies, fun ladies to watch. You got Jessica I down there and all that.
Well, I want to fight Jessica. All respect, but I would love to fight Jessica.
I mean, it's a fun fight. Like I actually get like I'm glad I'm like she's someone that like my daughter's always admired and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where when she came to BKFC, I was like, oh great, there's another opportunity to watch Jessica perform. In her last fight, absolutely outclasses a boxer in her debut in Texas, but then. But then Texas does what Texas does. They steal another win from her.
That was funny. I felt bad for her for that.
How's that?
It's just a little crazy. Man. What's
Two
wrong
different times she fights in that stadium. 2 different times she gets her fight overturned.
Yeah.
Man, if I'm her, I'd be like, listen, I love y'all as promoters. Just don't book me in Texas no more.
Yeah, exactly. Either don't book me in Texas or put down the reefer a little earlier, Jess. Just a little earlier.
How we recover is how we recovered, my friend.
I mean, I partake. I don't think it's an evil.
I don't think it should be on the
you just have to. If you know you're going to be fighting in a state that you've been popped before, I would have been maybe a little bit more cautious. But she can't control that now. It is what it is. She had a great performance. I don't think anyone in bare knuckle is going to take that away from her. We just go. No. We just move forward. Yeah.
No, it just those trolls we were just talking about. That's what they're gonna do. Oh, but you got it overturned. You got popped. It's not like she got popped for steroids.
It wasn't roid. Yeah, she wasn't roided up. She was just smoking a little ganja. That's all.
But I agree. That should be a fun type matchup. She's still trying to get into those upper rankings. You're trying to make your debut.
Yeah. She said in Texas, they asked her in the media day, would she fight Christine next, considering she's from the UFC? That's, of course, a question that's going to come up. Christine's always looking for, like, legit challengers, and there isn't many right now. And she said something along the lines of she wanted, like, another fight after Maria, or Agapova, however you say her name, to, like, tune up for Christine. And so that's where my Big Mouth came in and was like, hey, I need a fight. You need a tune-up? You can try. Try to tune up with me.
I versus Dagner. Let's do it. Let's talk to Kevin Smith and get some paperwork going.
Yeah, we'll see. Even if they may want me to do a fight to feel out the sport first before that, but could you imagine the platform that puts me on going against a UFC vet with a pro debut? Like, that'd be huge for me. So of course I'm going to be pushing for that.
I mean, but see, it's not like it's your pro debut for BKFC. You have experience in boxing. You have experience in kickboxing. You have experience in MMA. So it's not like, you're this little green fighter they're gonna throw to the wolves.
Exactly. We got a little bit of reason to put me in there. Let me at it.
Something you need to tell Harvey to pick up the phone and talk.
Harvey said, Taylor, you don't need to call for Jess right now. That's not smart.
Well, I mean, it's been what, since like basically the middle of summer when you got signed, right?
Yeah, April.
It's been at least 6 months since you've been signed. I think it's time to start making some noise to say like, hey, this is something.
Doesn't she train in Florida? I mean,
she does train in Florida.
I would love to go to Florida. That'd be awesome.
They always like going. They always like having shows down there in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
missing me.
Let's see if we can we can drum up some noise with this one. Listen, I've entered another one. Like same thing with Crystal. I've interviewed just all throughout her career, her Bellator career, her UFC career. Had her on before the debut. She's an awesome person, and some of the stuff she went through was crazy. Like, I don't know if you heard her story. Like she was basically the last 3 fights in her UFC career. She had several parasites in her body. That's why she couldn't cut weight properly. She always felt tired and lethargic.
She said something about health issues that she figured out.
She had some. I think when she took some of her fights over, in international fights, like something she ate over there must have been in it, and that's how it got introduced to her body. But as we were just talking about that whole healthy nutritionist thing, like she went on a kick and they got several parasites out of her. I'm like,
that's why everyone was saying she popped for roids, because she looked so shredded. But that's nutrition. She looked great.
I agree. She looked in the best shape that I have ever seen her.
And if she was having parasites or digestive issues, that makes so much sense, because your body can't absorb nutrition the same way if you're dealing with stuff like that.
Because the parasites are stealing it from you.
Exactly. Freaking bugs in there.
So that's why I would love to see you have that matchup, but at the same time, I want to see her at her best. Not like she's been fighting as a half of a person, so to speak.
For sure.
For the last handful of her fights, outside of the last one where she looked amazing beating up a boxer, right?
Yeah. She did pretty good.
It's one of those things. I hope that's a fight you do get, regardless if it's the next fight you get or whatever. I would love to see that matchup, just because I want to see some of the best fighters fight some of the best fighters, and that's one of the reasons why I missed this one. Dad said he loves you.
Good to know. Good to know.
I'm sure you knew that before that. But
yeah.
Now, since obviously you've been already seeing Dad in the chat, how important is that family dynamic to what you're trying to accomplish in combat sports too?
We've had some ups and downs, my folks and myself, but here recently, we've been doing a little better. We had a big talk about everything and kind of set it all aside. So it's huge for me to be able to represent my dad's last name, to make them proud. I love that. I'm kind of spearheading that because, my brothers and I are all trying to do better, basically do more. And yeah.
Listen, when you have that family support, it's almost like, you got another set of coaches and another why reason, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get a ton of support from my fiance, his mom, his sister. They're kind of like, I'm in Mississippi now. My mom and dad, they're in Illinois, so I don't really see them very often. But yeah, I have a great support system. I'm very grateful. Oh, there's my brother.
The Taylor
Yeah. And that's D. Ray Dagner right there, man, in the flesh.
As I'm talking about getting love from the family.
Yeah, he had to get a shout out. That's all. That's why he said that. He wanted me to say his name. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, our family is our family. We don't get to pick it, but they also can't tell us how we love them either. So
no, yeah,
it's cool to see it. So now, obviously, you had a lot of exciting things going on, over the last year. You having the change from your traditional combat sports background to bare knuckle, but you also got a print write-up too.
Oh yeah, no, that was my second one actually, because I'm from a village. It's not even considered a town. So anything, yeah, straight up, look up Stillville, Illinois. It's a village, and I think it's like, I don't want to lie to you, I think there's like 1,100 people in the town now. It was 1,200, but we lost 100. It's really small. So anytime I do anything fighting, like signing with a big promotion or my debut fight, they had me like on the front of the athletes page, and they were pretty hype about it. Oh, what's up, Harvey?
See, Harvey missed his shout out at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's okay. He'll see you later.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Now, obviously, you've had the print done up and done stuff like that. So, outside of potential, like as we were sitting there talking to Jessica, stuff like that, what do you overly want to accomplish? What is your I guess your main goals, checkpoints that you want to get as you fulfill that multi-fight contract with bare knuckle?
I have they're kind of specific goals. Within a year of my debut fight, I want to be in the top 8 of my division. That would be a solid goal. I just want to steady climb. Eventually, it would be awesome. It would be a blessing if I can work myself to the point to face Christine. I definitely have that as one of my vision board items because she is at the top of my division. I'm not here to just play patty cake and fiddle with, the people at the bottom. I want to do the best that I can and compete to the best of my ability. So that's my goal eventually.
And nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people would like to see Christine, relinquish the crown, so to speak, get some new blood in there because, she's recycled a couple of these fights, a few times.
You're running through folks.
I don't even count the last fight she had with Jessica because she put too many stipulations into the contract. Like there was a hydration clause that Jessica couldn't rehydrate to a point. Like she had to be at a specific weight when they went in there. So, great performance for her. Not going to take anything away from her on that end. But if you were such this badass B, right, you wouldn't have put the stipulations in the contract in the first place. You would have just fought her. Hell, man, if you were smart, if she was smart enough, had enough faith in her, just fight her for the featherweight title. But she is
I think it's chess, not checkers. Maybe she wanted to play some mind games, with the clause, and you never know. I wouldn't. I've learned with Christine, you don't count her out, and you never really question.
Listen,
she's.
I'm one of the few people that was interviewing her when nobody was talking about her, when she was doing Muay Thai fights with Lion Fight. She is very well skilled. She deserves everything that all the accolades and recognition that she has for everything she's done in bare knuckle. At the same time, she does play mind games. She does find.
She's
angles.
Smart though. She's smart.
She's not dumb. You're absolutely right. She is smart. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to take anything away from her. But I have this feeling just from what you see on comments and posts and stuff like that. I think people either want to see a legitimate challenger, somebody to push her that way in her division, or see her goaded out and move along as one of these as one of the OG pioneers of the sport.
Oh yeah, she's a Hall of Famer for sure. Like once they get that rolling out, she's solidified herself in history with everything she's done.
The family love you. Keep rolling on in.
Hey Logan, love you. Yeah, my brother's the best.
So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see any new blood in there because the Taylor Starling fight that didn't nothing against Taylor, just I didn't feel that was a worthy building up title fight.
Yeah, I think that was mental for sure for Tay. I keep saying that, but so much of the sport is mental. Like
it is
a huge percentage.
If you beat yourself mentally before you even walk in there, you've already lost the fight.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of times, like people look down upon this, but I think the most confident, cockiest person in the sport, 9 times out of 10, it is a world champion level person. Sometimes some people, all they have to offer is that part of it, but when you have the skill set and that mindset to go with it, you could take yourself very, very far in the sport.
Yeah, if you can relax and do what you train to do, it's a whole different ball game. When you're not fighting yourself going into there, and you're just fighting your opponent, it's a whole different ball game. Truly, I've noted it was night and day. I got a mindset coach, Mike Moore, Mindset Mike, and I got him after my last MMA loss, and he completely revolutionized the way that I look at the sport and got rid of so many like baseless thoughts that I was having. And it's really key to focus on the facts at hand and your strengths. And that's really all about it. A lot of times people get too worried in like what the crowd's thinking, what's going on in your opponent's head, just the base like anxiety. And I'm not saying I don't get nervous before a fight, but I'm saying I have a system to approaching that now where I used to just stress.
Daddy just sitting there saying, loves that fire inside of you.
Thanks, Dad. Oh, hey, Tab. Love you, Tab.
Your family is blowing up the chat today. Gotta love it.
I'm famous.
But yeah, one of those things is like that you mentioned, listen, mental is the thing of it. But let me ask you this now. Obviously, we're just a little bit more than a month away for Knucklemania here in Philadelphia in one of these big arenas. Is that another thing that you want to accomplish? One of these 20, 30,000 seat stadiums being on the main card, feeling the energy
of
those bigger arenas.
Shit. Hell yeah, that'd be a dream come true. I mean, getting signed with Bare Knuckle was a dream come true, but the dream just keeps getting bigger. And so that would be amazing to get to be in a big arena like that. Heck yeah. Love you, Zach.
So obviously I mentioned Philadelphia. If you had a choice of your dream location, it don't even have to be here in the United States. If there was an arena, a place, a venue that you say, I want to fight, I want to be, main event, co-main event with, 30, 40,000 screaming bare knuckle fans, where are you fighting at?
That's a good question. I would love it if is it Madison Square Garden, the really big one that the UFC gets a lot?
That's the New York venue. That's where the Knicks play, the Rangers play. It's the big venue in
I would love to grow with Bare Knuckle. Bare Knuckle end up to that point and we end up at Madison Square Garden. That would be amazing, I think.
Listen, I don't got no problems with it. I'm the Philly person, so to me, Madison
You're like, come to
Philly. But listen. It is a historic arena for a reason. There's a lot of history in that building. So I'm not going to sit there and say like, oh well, F New York because I'm a Philadelphia guy. It's a historic building.
You kind of did though. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course I am. I'm from Philly. That's what we're gonna do. We don't like New York. It don't matter which part of it. We don't like the Mets. We don't like the Yankees. We don't like the Rangers. We don't like the Knicks. We just don't like New York.
That's funny.
That's how we are. and they feel the same way about us, so it's mutual.
I'd
But
like to be in Philly
I'm the type
too.
of person, I respect greatness regardless of the uniform, whatever. Madison Square Garden is an epic place to play.
Could you imagine, like, if bare knuckle got to that point? That would be huge.
Obviously Philly's Dave's backyard. It's his hometown and stuff like that. And one of the reasons why he does it. But I'm sure if he had the opportunity to put Knucklemania in Madison Square Garden, he'd be like, guys, we're doing a second Knucklemania this year.
Maybe like for an anniversary fight or something, we get like to that point. Like, has it been around 10 years yet? I don't think it's been around 10 years yet.
No. We're not
maybe
there
yet.
I think that's what he should
10-year anniversary.
Smart. If he's smart, like the 10-year anniversance, do something like that. That would be smart.
That would be huge.
And he's a business savvy guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave does something like that as well. He's smart enough to bring a guy like Conor McGregor in, and I think he's put a lot of eyeballs and dollars to what you guys do in bare knuckle. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna say that much. So now one of the things that I like to ask all my guests is, like, one of the hardest thing to do in combat sports is everyone likes to throw around this name GOAT, right? This person's the GOAT, that person's the GOAT. I think it's the hardest thing to do in combat sports because there's so many different variables. We have boxing, we have bare knuckle now. You have MMA, which is a multiple different discipline combat sport. But I can't sit there and say we have a specific GOAT because there's weight classes, there's men, there's women. So what I like to ask all my athletes that come on here is, since we can't sit there and say, like, who's the GOAT of this, because we'd be sitting here for forever debating this one or that one. I say that the most best way that I could probably do this is, who is your Mount Rushmore of combat sports athletes? Now, this isn't just confined to bare knuckle or MMA. If there's boxing, whatever, like, I think this is the fairest way to go about it, because you get a couple different choices you can choose from, different eras, etc.
Yeah,
Who is your Mount Rushmore?
So it's Mark Coleman, of course, the father ground and pound.
Absolutely.
Max Holloway, because I like his style. Dakota Decheva, because she's currently like the best of the best. And oh no, I forgot my fourth one. I had four, but I forgot it. No. Oh, Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah.
She doesn't get the love that she deserves. It is insane. It is
because she's so good. She's boring. She's too good. She has to start doing some like wild stuff, like faking a knockdown or something, so people.
I mean, look what she did to Jessica.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
Jessica.
Exactly. Like, listen, it was hard for me to say, because obviously, we don't try to have favorites in media, but like, you have people you enjoy talking to and you want to succeed. I was happy that she had the title fight. I'm like, well, let's see if she can box her up a little bit, keep her standing. And Valentina was just like, spam head kick.
Yeah, nope, not in my house.
But I mean, she has the most title defenses in UFC history. And then she challenged herself against arguably the lioness, the female GOAT of the UFC. So it's one of those things where she's challenged herself in every way possible. She's laid waste to her division 2 times over.
Yeah.
What else can you ask of her?
She's lost the belt and got it back. That doesn't happen often, that a champ falls and then is able to regroup. Like, she's done it all, really.
It is rare. It is rare to have multiple different title reigns, but she still has. No one has what they do in the UFC is the rubies now, right? She has the most rubies on her championship.
Yeah, she filled it up. That's the cool. But yeah, I got to go
more room for it after her last fight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe it. Get her a whole new belt and fill that one up too. I actually got to go. It was to Pennsylvania to a seminar with her.
So then I probably seen you there.
Yeah,
I was there. I took my kids there to that seminar.
You're at the seminar. That's crazy, Steve.
After we get off of here, I'm gonna send you a picture from me
and
Val.
Show me. What if me and your kids work together or something? That would be crazy.
Not surprise me.
That would be crazy. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. Then.
Freaking world, right?
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then, well, yeah, I got gifted that by family in our gym after my first fight. They saw something in me. I don't know. They wanted to send me up there and gifted me and my fiance a trip up to Valentina, and that was life-changing. Ironically, then I was doing a lot of like boxing, like head movement stuff, and it was MMA style. And she told me then, your head movement is good for boxing, but it's holes in MMA. And so it's ironic that I ended up in a boxing sport because, yeah, she said I'm good for boxing. Hopefully, hopefully it works out.
Yeah, it's funny how stuff like that works out, and then you get some of the stuff, and you're able to kind of. That's what I love about those things is because some of the one-on-ones you get, you kind of, fill some holes in that that you feel like you need to kind of improve on. So it's like whenever like there's one of these seminars that I think is worthwhile to it, I would always send my girls to them.
I love that.
I remember when they opened one of the UFC gyms in New Jersey, and they had Frankie Edgar there, Matt Hughes there, Renzo Gracie was there. I'm like, let's go, girls.
Yeah, that is
because like when you have that amount of people there, like they have the chance to look at you, but they also have that chance for them to kind of help correct some of the mistakes that you're making that you may not see, or even your coaches are not catching on yet. And it's something like knowing who those type of people are. It's invaluable to get that information out of them.
Absolutely. My coach then was a boxing coach. I didn't have a wrestling coach. I had a jiu-jitsu coach, but we didn't have the bridge, the kickboxing or the wrestling. And so for her to tell me like, yeah, you're doing good for boxing, but you can do this for MMA, that was pivotal. It was huge for me. I definitely put that information in my back pocket and used it. Cause like you said, it was something that I wouldn't have had access to had I not gone to that seminar.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't like the ones where they're sitting there trying to charge you like $100, $200. That's the stuff I don't play with. When you have somebody that has that type of pedigree, skill set, whatever, you go there to kind of see, like, because what they do is 9 times out of 10 they're just repeating what their coaches are showing them in practice. So you're kind of getting access to some of the ways they go about things, and it may be not something that you're being taught there. Maybe it's just a mentality thing that they wind up telling you while you're at that seminar that you help to pick up. There's always something to be learned from those things. It may not necessarily be this jab, this punch, this movement, whatever. It could be something very simple, very subtle that like I make that mistake all the time. That's how I correct that.
Or it's grounding too, because I saw with seeing her like train and stuff, because she did the kicks and everything for us, did all the examples, that she's doing the same stuff. She just has done it for years and years and years. It takes away that allure that she's some superhuman level. Like she's definitely the best of the best, but it's obtainable, where before you could see that and be like, I'll never be like that person. But being around people like that makes you start to believe in yourself too.
No, we were talking about the greatest, losing titles, getting titles back and stuff like that. I want to get your thoughts on a big UFC matchup that's coming up here.
Okay.
Let's talk about Kayla Harrison getting ready to fight Amanda Nunes, and she already has a lot to sit there and say about this. She doesn't think that she's going to come back after what I do to her January 24th. I'm going to send her back into retirement. Now, people that don't know, Kayla and Amanda used to be teammates at American Top Team.
They did.
And rumor has it, this is not confirmed, that Kayla was throwing Amanda around, and that's why Amanda left. I don't think that's 100% true.
Yeah, I've heard a couple different stories from both parties on what happened. Amanda, I think it was something like conflict of interest is what she was saying, that she knew they were going to eventually fight, and so it was becoming awkward rifts, like training with her and stuff like that. But I don't know. I would say as far as the matchup goes,
it's hard
if Kayla can get a hold of her, it's going to be a rough night for Amanda. But if Amanda stays at range and fights like she did Pena 2 the second time, it's going to be real hard to beat Amanda. Like, she's a GOAT for a reason. And Kayla, she has been, what was that girl's name? Like, Pacquiao?
In PFL, the girl that beat her.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. She's beatable, and she has holes too, but she's also a hard worker. And another thing that comes into my mind when I think of that matchup is how extreme of a weight cut Kayla's been doing. Mm-hmm. And this, I think, is this her third cut to 35?
Yeah. And
so her cut to 35.
We talked about this very beginning of the show. She looked so sunken in. You know who she reminds me of is when Conor McGregor was making that cut down to 45. Yeah. How he like damn near looked like Skeletor.
And Conor was a lot younger when he did that. And Conor's a male. For a female to cut that amount of weight at her age, she's putting her brain at risk. And then going against Amanda Nunes, a more natural 35er with heavy hands, I could easily see Kayla getting knocked down or finished as well. So I could either see Kayla throwing Amanda around or Kayla laying on the ground. It's one of the two.
Listen, I think the judo style is definitely a very MMA friendly style. We've already seen that with Ronda Rousey. I agree. If she's able to negate Amanda's range and gets a hold of her, it could be a rough night for Amanda Nunes. But like, this is, it's just like with football any given Sunday, right? So it's like it's going to be a flip of the coin. I'm very intrigued with the matchup. I think this is our biggest female MMA fight that we probably had, since Ronda days, to be honest with you. Nothing against Amanda Nunes. It's there hasn't been this much excitement around a women's title fight since Ronda's reign. So
because it's once again two powerhouses, two really dominant females clashing. It's going to be really good.
For all intents and Kayla's a two-time gold medal judoka. Yeah. Ronda was a medalist, and technically, if you get real technical with it, she was the second bronze. It wasn't a true bronze.
That's crazy.
So her judo is kind of a couple grades above Ronda. So I think it's very interesting. I think, but I agree. I think Amanda's the natural striker. If she's able to,
if Kayla knocks her out?
That would be insane. That would be. Well, here's the thing: like, she could also, hit her with one of those judo tosses and finish her with strikes from the side. There's things that can happen. There's some crazy stuff. We will find out. I think I said it was January 24th. There, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the debut for the Paramount app. No more paying for pay-per-views. You're one that I'm sure obviously consumes, all aspects of combat sports. Are you excited to not have to sit there and pay that $69.99 anytime there's a big fight?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. That was a great move for the UFC. I would love for BKFC to eventually get there. I think we will in time.
Was literally what I was going to go in with you. Now I heard that DAZN, the zone is going to be is having issues right now. Yeah. I've asked several fighters of this. I'm putting it out there. I think that Conor McGregor should go talk to Prime. Get on that app.
I mean, you know more than I do. I would. I'm
just saying, like, you look at I don't think they'll get on Netflix, and I don't think they would want to get on Netflix just because they may have to give up too much to get there.
But sure.
Prime is always doing these type of things. They already have football on it every once in a while and stuff like that. I think it would be a big thing to get bare knuckle onto one of these streaming apps, and then having a big partner like Prime Video. I think a lot of the fighters would do well on that, because the way you would do combat sports that way is a lot of your fighters would then be getting better interviews, be getting better content to come out that be consumed by the general public. So
to the masses,
kind of like what the UFC used to do with their countdown shows, where everybody they did it from the top to the card to the bottom. Then after a while, they only started doing it from the main card fighters. Then it was just the main and co-main event. I think that's something that would generally help everybody, would help the sport in general, would help the athletes kind of grow their brand, grow their fans reach, etc. I think it would be a perfect match, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could do that, like a BKFC countdown show, or even like BKFC embedded. You know how they do embedded videos for the UFC, and they go and see what just to connect the fans with the fighters more. Because I think that's one thing that needs to be bridged right now for bare knuckle is the fans and the fighters, like to get more connection between them two.
I agree. Like when you look at it, Christine's probably the only fighter that they've built.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, right? When you look at the stars, not most of them have come, variety. They used to be UFC fighters, is why they're getting X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Christine, who didn't come from that background, name me a star in BKFC that didn't come from the UFC. You're the heavyweight champion Ben Rothwell, obviously, cut his teeth in the UFC.
I would say like they're up and coming stars, basically, like homegrown BKFC fighters.
Yes.
I'll throw out David Diaz. I feel like he's blowing up right now, slowly but surely. Kai Stewart is one that he didn't come from. Nathan Rivera, he's another one that he's kind of making his own shticks. He's creating his own persona through bare knuckle. I think it's going to be happening more and more as bare knuckle grows. There's going to be fighters that are homegrown from them.
I agree. But as we get ready to wrap this one up, Taylor, what I typically do is I kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. Any parting shots, parting words, shoot out your social media sites, shoot out your sponsors, coaches, family, friends, anything you want to say, Taylor, the time is yours, my friend.
Yeah. So I'll just say, I'm trying to pull up my social media because I don't remember my tag. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's Tay Dagner BKFC. And then I post a lot on my Facebook, but I just wanted to thank my family, Tabitha, Rihanna, Zach, for all the support, my mom, my dad, my brothers, and all the gyms that open their doors to us to cross-train when I am in camp, Law School MMA, Nashville MMA, Knoxville MMA. I'm super grateful. Oxford Hit Fitness, they do so much for us, and they allow us to come train with them, and that's huge. So, yeah. Harvey, Storm Management. Bam. I almost forgot you, Harvey. I'm sorry. I'm new to this. Harvey Singh, Storm Management. They're my people. I need to shout them out.
Yeah, well, last few comments in there, obviously, we were just talking about Kai and your last one from your dad. I guess I missed that one during our last segment. But
thanks, Dad.
Obviously, your fam gave you a lot of love in the chat room today. So, you have a great support system around you. I think you have a great energy about you. I'm really looking forward to seeing when you finally get to make your debut here. I'm hoping it's the fight we were talking about, a potential matchup with former UFC and Bellator veteran Miss Jessica. I think that would be a fun fight. I think it would be a great experience for you. Let's see what the future holds. We definitely gotta get you back on here again as you get closer to making that potential debut. But appreciate your time this morning, Taylor, and let's stay in touch. I'm gonna shoot you that picture after we get off of here.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
You too, Taylor. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, everyone. That was Taylor Dagner, up and coming BKFC Flyweight. Another fun show in the books. Really appreciate her time. Big shout out to Harvey Singh as well from Store Management for helping me set up the interview with Taylor as well. Again, anyone who is in the chat, hit that QR code at the top. Give us a like, give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. We just passed 1 million views about last week. We're getting ready to try to get closer to the potential monetization goals there for the South Florida Tribune Media Network. I will be back here in exactly 2 hours. Timmy Tyler, going to be another fun interview from the combat sports world. Other than that, I am Steven Rychel. This was another episode of the Fan and the End. I will catch you guys on the rebound. Peace out, my friends.